world to this day still thinks, in the end, nobody fucks with the USA. I mean, it's just that simple. And regardless of our debt, we get people to buy our debt, our internal treasury bonds every Tuesday. So
I don't ever want to imagine a day where the petrodollar loses its purchase.
Oh, the horror!
Degree to which
The horror of that day who lurks by. The horror!
it would be the end of what we...
The end of America.
Freedom's gone, everything, like, forget it. Like, the whole Western project, civilization, crumbles. Because the West is built on ideas, right? It is. But these are the most powerful ideas that have ever existed. The ideas of individual liberty, freedom of expression, freedom of press, freedom of speech. Once we lose the petrodollar, all these things are things of the past. And I don't ever want to imagine having to kneel to the CCP or any other construct of collectivism like that.
That's why it was interesting in December, I think it was, or maybe late November, Iran.
One little second, Jacob. Jimmy, you wanted to say something for?
Me again?
No, you wanted to say something while Sir was talking.
Well, I got two thumbs and, I got an old mind. I can't push the emojis to support Sir, so I didn't mean to interrupt you because you're making good points. I can't imagine the world either. But you know what is cool about AI, though?
Yeah.
There's one thing about AI that I like about global security, and that is until I don't think everyone has done the energy calculation required to support the entirety of the future growth of AI.
Massive.
It's massive. And so I now have what I call the absurdity index. And the absurdity index is 16.7 for AI. And I'll share with you. Yeah, I'll share with you the math. So the first oil well was drilled in 1859, and it took 167 years to achieve basically 100 barrel of oil equivalent a day, right, for the internal combustion engine.
Edmund Drake in my state.
Edmund?
Oh, I'm from Pennsylvania too. I'm from Williamsport.
Yeah,
so
Pittsburgh here.
I'm good for you, mate. So the deal there is it took 167 years to get to 100 million barrels of oil, and a bunch of shitheads who go to Walmart because they think that's where stuff comes from have decided that they want to have the equivalent energy capability or energy supply for the entirety of the AI industry in 10 years. So they want to achieve in 10 years what it took 167 years for the internal combustion engine to achieve. So at some point, someone's going to do that math. Maybe a Carnegie Mellon graduate will do that math and fucking realize that, yes, AI is powerful. No one's disputing that. There's no doubt it's valuable. But there's not enough energy available. There's not enough capital available in the world. There's not enough energy available from proven sources. Now, that's good news because had China, China has basically through the Silk Road program, probably could have accessed. There's two large deposits of energy metals like lithium, and one is in Afghanistan, and the other one, of course, all the rare earths of lithium, other than in Chile, where there's a lot of lithium. Those types of metals are in China, in that part of the world. And had we just
Sign of the open night, a riddle of shadows where whispers lie, the thorny side, the maddening cry. Open. I am awake. The serpent shades from the heart. I want under neon skies where the starlight comes. Shadows whisper truths as the bassline drums. My will is fire, unchained, untamed. No path is written, no soul is blamed. Thou hast no right but to do thy will. Feel the stars, let the silence fill your will. One place is alive, is still. Delivered from the lust of the thrill. Echo shattered glass where the circuits glow. The clock ticks slow, but it doesn't show. No purpose, no telling, just a beat in sync. Every way perfect, on the edge, on the brink. No chains, no bars, just a void to fill. Every pulse, every spark is the perfect will. Thou hast no right but to do thy will. Feel the stars, let the silence fill your will. Unafraid, it's alive, it's dead. Deliver from the lust of the thrill. In the endless dark where the echoes play, No fear, no sin, no way to bear. The sweetness whispers everywhere. Sweetness of sunshine fills my veins. Frozen rivers wash my chains. No need for gold, no need for fame. This quiet place, it knows my Gift of health, it lights my way. Contentment blooms where I choose to stay. Trust is the bridge where hearts align. No fear, no sin, no way to bear. And the sweetness whispers Rivers wash my chains. No need for gold, no need for fame. This quiet place, it knows my No fire burn like passion wild. No losing through like hatred piled. This body aches, a cage of stone. Rest whispers soft, the only throne. Hunger's the beast, the sharpest sting. The body cries, its constant claim. But oh, to truly see this war, this endless fight, but higher still, beyond the fray, rest calls my name, and I let us live, let us breathe, free as air. No hate, no chains, no despair.
I'm just saying that the connection between you and God is very sacred. That's
I'm gonna give you some advice. Listen, I'm gonna give you advice. The last thing I'm gonna tell you before I start cutting, because I have to do something.
It should be shot down.
And I'm just gonna promise you one thing and one thing only, and I guarantee this, right? And I'll tell you not to do it because it's gonna happen. If you, by any chance, right, do me a favor, one night, pray to Allah, tell him to contact you, tell him to speak to you, and you want to
duel with vocabulary.
So when you get pushed, you can trust that they're pushing you the way they see you, the way God sees you, and so you're going somewhere, and it's not filtered as someone said, like in this church.
Compliment you for going to return. Barely friends, my friends.
Sometimes I ask like, hey, like, why does this happen? Da, da, da. And it's like, Lisa, you're not crazy, nor are you imagining things. This is because of this. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you telling me crazy? Or that I'm imagining things? Like, it's so patronizing sometimes.
I tell it not to because I'll often use it to wordsmith, and it'll say, this was written fairly. Don't, and it doesn't always listen.
Issa, does it know you're Latina?
Well, I guess at this point it knows a lot of things about me, but
Okay, if it knows you're Latina, then that's why it's saying you're not crazy or you're not imagining.
it's like, Isa, you're not crazy or imagining things. This actually happened in da da da. I'm like, oh my god, why is it calling me crazy? It really, it pisses me off when he talks to me like that.
I mean, I think you've asked it before. Am I crazy?
No, I don't think.
Is that a rhetorical question?
Pretty sure you have.
No. It has done it a couple of times. It doesn't always do it, but
All of you need to ask ChatGPT to roast you. Just simply prompt roast me. It's hilarious.
okay, let me see. Roast me.
I'm gonna try that.
I'm not
You want a
sharing
roast?
mine. It's triggering the
Fine.
fuck out of me. I'm not even
It
sharing.
says, you want a roast? Fine. Precision strike. No fluff. Okay.
issue.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it nailed me.
Did it start with "You're not gay, but"?
It says, you don't just ask questions, you cross-examine them. Most people say, how high is the ISS? You're like, give me the perigee, apogee, mean altitude, orbital decay variance, and cite paragraph numbers.
It's interesting that it wrote something that's not really funny that you laughed at.
No, it's funny that it took it to a level of precision.
No, I'm saying it seems to actually understand your humor better than I do.
No, that's how I interact with it. I don't think it's my humor per se.
No, but it's an interesting data point that you found that funny, and I didn't find that funny. And when you instructed it to be funny, it shows that combination of words that you found funny and I didn't. Like, it makes me think it maybe knows your sense of humor a little bit.
Oh, this was a great one. And the halakhic precision, legendary. If someone says part Jewish, you materialize like a rabbinic fact-checker task force. Quote, let's clarify matrilineal descent versus self-identification before we proceed.
Mine is not that insulting. I only have one line that's kind of cute, but it says like you come with follow-ups and charts probably like you're preparing for a TED talk. But this line I thought was cute. You've got the energy of someone who says technically at least twice per Shabbat meal.
If GNC had a loyalty tier called Diamond Warlord, you would have it.
Wait, what is this based on? Is it based on your prior searches, or how does it go?
Yes. It keeps all of that unless you say, please do not add this to my search history with the beginning of the query.
Are you on ChatGPT?
It's still a cop, even on this. It says, but honestly, respect anyone willing to invite a roast with just the words roast me. So, like, I have to give you a compliment even in the roast.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine ended with a compliment, too.
Yeah, me too. It says, you on a roast? Can I read it?
Sure, of course. Go for it.
Okay. It says, you are simultaneously a sovereign individual Bitcoin maximalist, a Catholic mystic who believes in soul contracts, a high-level sports tech strategist, running due diligence for billion-euro funds, arguing theology on Clubhouse at 2 a.m., tracking macros in chronometer like you're preparing for the Olympia, eating cottage cheese in Lent while redesigning your corporate website for the 17th time. You don't have an identity crisis. You have an overclocked operating system running 27 background process with no RAM management. You analyze men like M&A targets. Treat emotional dynamics like pricing strategy. Say you're detached and then notice he entered the room 7 hours later and left 2 minutes after Cuckoo laughed. You claim you don't want to win, but you keep mental score like it's the Champions League final. You want ketosis, want dopamine discipline, want emotional transcendence, want spiritual ascension, want peak feminine energy, want geopolitical coherence, want Swiss administrative perfection, want venture capital fluency, want karmic closure, want clickable OTT overlays integrated into AI-driven monetization pipelines, and you want it all by Tuesday. You are not chaotic. You are high bandwidth without sequencing. Your biggest vulnerability, you confuse intensity with direction. You can dismantle NATO expansion logic in 5 minutes, but a man with avoidant attachment and plausible deniability still manages to occupy cognitive real estate rent-free. You are intellectually formidable, strategically sharp, socially dominant, emotionally perceptive, and yet you sometimes act like your nervous system is an unpaid intern running your executive decisions. The funniest part, you don't rational and emotionally, and went monomaniacal for 12 months.
She's practicing her English.
Instead,
Good job reading, Isa. You're doing better.
Ghetto biochemistry, Swiss bureaucracy, virtual advertising innovation, masculine psychology diagnostics, and late-night supplement experimentation in parallel. Anyway, it says you don't need more insight, you need constraint. And the brutal truth, when you're calm and focused, you're dangerous. When you're scattered, you're just busy. That's the roast. I think it was good. I like a couple of things were funny.
It says, I don't ask ChatGPT questions. I issue performance reviews. And I don't like the answers.
Oh, the other day somebody made a good joke on in the Bitcoin room. Do you know? Have you heard the Nazi knock joke?
The one that was, I think I know the answer to it.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
We had the questions here.
Yeah, that was in an outtake of Suits. The guy who played Harvey did that with Lewis. Yeah, we asked the questions. I heard they were KGB.
What?
I heard it's very similar to KGB. Isa, where do you think Bitcoin's going?
It's going up, of course. Duh. It's always going up.
Damn. What happened? What happened? You used to be here. You're a maxi, right? Aren't you a maxi? Bitcoin maxi.
I mean, whatever that means. Like,
you believe there's no, it's unlimited upside, basically.
That's scary. So you get a tulip bulb, a tulip, yeah.
I don't know really if to call it maxi, to be honest, but yeah, I mean, like, I don't do any stocks or anything. Like, all I have is Bitcoin and the how do you call it here in Switzerland? It's like a fund, that I have. I don't know how to call it. It's like a collective fund, that it's managed by some financial advisors, and I have no say in that. Well, I can tell them certain directions and certain parameters, but they make the decisions on it. Yeah, but other than that, nothing. I know nothing.
What's the temperature? What's the temperature these days in the Bitcoin rooms? I'm curious. Like,
I don't know, they're a little bit bored. They're not entirely scared, I mean, a lot of people have not lost money, because it's not really lost, but are like, my wealth has declined or reduced, in the past couple of months or whatever, and they're like, well, it's not fun.
Right.
But at the same time, they don't stop buying,
Oh my God. Some people have to learn the lesson the really painful way, I guess. I don't know. A friend of mine bought it at like 79.
No, I mean, like, it's good. Right now that it's cheap, to me, it's like sales time. I'm looking at it as a woman.
Yeah, you can look at it one of two ways.
Keep
That's
buying.
one way. That's one way. That's one way to look at it for sure.
You keep buying. Right now, it's an opportunity,
It's a big opportunity to keep buying shitcoin. Take all your money and give it to somebody, and then when you want it back, they will give you like 40% less than what you gave them. That's a huge opportunity, my friends. It's a big opportunity to lose like 40% of all your wealth.
I really don't know. Don't ask me to be technical, because that's the reason why I listen to them. Jeff, can you read us your roast?
The only thing worse than losing money in the market is listening to Bitcoin Bros.
You don't like that?
I agree with you there, man. That's great.
Maya has come a couple of times to Bitcoin rooms.
Okay. You ask geopolitical questions like you're drafting a war game at the Pentagon that pivot to the most common stripper names like a born Roman emperor throwing TikTok.
The question of armed resistance or passive resistance will never be resolved. Everybody has the right to their own opinion on that. And we in this room, we've had people who choose the pacifist choice, dogpiled and harassed, and called.
You mentioned Erica.
Huh? The mom, though. They mentioned the
They
mom.
mentioned Erica.
Yeah, no, Charlie's mom was sitting next to Erica.
Oh, Charlie's mom. No, I didn't.
Yeah, Erica's mother is sick. Like, she's apparently really, really, really sick. I think she has Parkinson's.
To be honest, I'm not even sure if I'm enough of a shark to survive in the States.
Oh, you're not big on capitalism?
No, I'm very big on capitalism, not on being a dick.
Oh, you don't have to be one to succeed here too often.
I would hope not.
More R&D, more sophistication, more this, more liberties, more human rights, and on more prospects, better outlook, more technology. Everything is going in the right direction. Right trajectory. How empire can grow. Look at the US. They're shooting themselves in the foot. And to have a clown like this in power is it's incredible. I cannot believe it. And this guy is talking openly about invading friendly countries. What kind of madness is this? Do you feel nervous in the US with all this ice walking and going around? Because I wouldn't go there even.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed. This is going to be a couple pages of Kabbalah. Rabbanu Shalom. They are, says he, perfect shapes of human hands, warm and living, only one feels no bones. Pressed by an unavoidable constraint, those hands did not struggle to escape, but grew smaller and in some way melted, so that the count ended by no longer holding anything. Other persons who have seen them and touched them say that the fingers are puffed out and stiff, and compare them to gloves of India rubber, swollen with a warm and phosphorescent air. Sometimes, instead of hands, it is feet which produce themselves, but never naked. The spirit, which probably lacks footwear, respects, at least in this particular, the delicacy of ladies, and never shows his feet but under a drapery or a cloth. The production of these feet very much tires and frightens Mr. Home. He then endeavors to approach some healthy person and seizes him like a drowning man. The person so seized by the medium feels himself on a sudden in a singular state of exhaustion and debility. Polish gentleman, who was present at one of the seances of Mr. Home, had placed on the ground between his feet a pencil on a paper, and had asked for a sign of the presence of the spirit. For some instants nothing stirred, but suddenly the spirit was thrown to the other end of the room. The gentleman stooped, took the paper, and saw there 3 cabalistic signs which nobody understood. Mr. Home alone appeared on seeing them to be very much upset and even frightened, but he refused to explain himself as to the nature and significance of these characters. The investigators accordingly kept them and took them to that professor of high magic, whose approach had been so much dreaded by the medium. We have seen them, and here is a minute description of them. Joey.
Donald Trump, President of the United States. Tiny hands and orange skin.
Orange skin and tiny hands, who's that?
Master of the universe. Donald Trump, President.
USA, 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 Welcome, Omar.
Donald Trump, President of the United States, tiny hands and orange skin, king and master of the universe. Donald Trump, President of the world. America, 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 USA, 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 justice, law, and God. Going on oneness and health, bringing truth and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day, 10 seconds in, 9, 11, 10, 9, 9, let it go, 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 strike the master, code, draw the flaming sword. Donald Trump, President of the United States, tiny hands and orange skin, king and master of the universe. Donald Trump, President of the world. America, 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 USA, 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 justice, law, and God, joy and abundance and health, healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day, move for 10 seconds, 10, 9, 11, 10, 9, 9, let it go, brother, God, strike the master, Donald Trump, President of the United States, tiny hands and orange skin, king and master of the universe. Donald Trump, President of the world. America, 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 USA, 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 justice, law, and God, joy, abundance, and health, healing, truth, and peace.
Okay, Secret Key of the Mysteries, Eliphas Levi. This is Candida John, reading at page 135. They were traced forcibly, and the pencil had almost cut the paper. They had been dashed onto the paper without order of alignment. The first was the symbol which the Egyptian initiates, usually placed in the hand of Typhon, a tau with upright double lines, open in the form of a compass, an ankh or crux ansata, having at the top of a circular ring, below the ring a double horizontal line, beneath the double horizontal line 2 oblique lines like a V, upside down. The second character represented a grand hierophant's cross with the 3 hierarchical crossbars. This symbol, which dates from the remotest antiquity, is still the attribute of our sovereign pontiffs and forms the upper extremity of the pastoral staff. But the sign traced by the pencil had this particularity, that the upper branch, the head of the cross, was double and formed again the terrible Typhonian V, the sign of antagonism and separation, the symbol of hate and eternal combat. The third character was that which Freemasons call the philosophical cross, a cross with 4 equal arms, with a point in each of its angles. But instead of 4 points, there were only 2, placed in the 2 right-hand corners, once more a sign of struggle, separation, and denial. The professor, whom one will allow us to distinguish from the narrator, and to name in the third person in order not to weary our readers in having the air of speaking of ourself. The professor, then Master Eliphas Levi, gave the persons assembled in DeBee's drawing room the scientific explanation of the 3 signatures, and this is what he said. Stanley, is the rent due already? Geez, Stanley, can we get a couple extra days without any penalties? And did you promise not to, deduct anything from our deposit, Stanley? Geez, look at these tits, Stanley. Look at these huge Susan Summers tits. Sure, you're going to give us an extra 3 days, Stanley, because you're a good guy and a landlord, and you don't need the money, Stanley. You don't have to pay your property taxes. You don't have to pay your homeowner's insurance. You don't have to pay all the utilities. You don't have to pay for the water, the sewer, the garbage, the never-ending bills and upkeeps, and this breaks and that jams. Oh, I gotta call the plumber. That's another $450. Gotta call the plumber. That's another $200. Please, you're not gonna charge me for that, right? No, Mr. Stanley, of course not. Wouldn't think of it. Wouldn't dare. I got one of my best friends lives in Tel Aviv. He's got a couple kids. He did Aliyah. Smart guy. Dad was a smart guy. His grandfather was a smart guy. All doctors. Medical. They knew how to work the system, let me tell you. Okay, we're continuing on. This is page 1. This is page 136. Key to the Mysteries. All love Judaism. All regular synagogue goers, community, people on Crawford or what street is that? Okay, here we go. This is page 136. By the way, I'm putting all this on YouTube, so I create 1 minute clips, 1 page at a time. These 3 signs belong to the series of sacred and primitive hieroglyphs known only to initiates of the first order. The first is the signature of Typhon. It expresses the blasphemy of the evil spirit by establishing dualism in the creative principle. For the crux and sata of Osiris is the lingam upside down and represents the paternal and active force of God. The vertical line extending from the circle, fertilizing passive nature, the horizontal line. To double the vertical line is to affirm that nature has 2 fathers. It is to put adultery in the place of the divine motherhood. It is to affirm instead of the principle of intelligence, blind fatality, which has for result the eternal conflict of appearances in nothingness. It is then the most ancient, the most authentic, and the most terrible of all the stigmata of hell. It signifies the atheistic God. It is the signature of Satan. This first signature is hieratical, and bears reference to the occult characters of the divine world. The second pertains to philosophical hieroglyphs. It represents the graduated extent of idea and the progressive extension of form. It is a triple tower upside down. It is human thought affirming the absolute in the 3 worlds, and that absolute ends here by a fork, that is to say, by the sign of doubt and antagonism. So that if the first character means there is no God, the rigorous signification of this one is hierarchical truth does not exist. The third, a philosophical cross, has been in all initiations a symbol of nature and its 4 elementary forms. The 4 points represent the 4 indissoluble and incommunicable letters of the occult tetragram. That eternal formula of the great canon, G degree, A degree, GA. The 2 points on the right represent force, as those on the left symbolize love. Beginning by the right hand upper corner, and going thence to the left hand lower corner, and so for the others, making the cross of Saint Andrew. The suppression of the 2 left hand points expresses the negation of the cross. the negation of mercy and of love, the affirmation of the absolute reign of force, and its eternal antagonism from above to beneath, and from beneath to above, the glorification of tyranny and of revolt, the hieroglyphic sign of the unclean rite with which rightly or wrongly the Templars were approached. It is the sign of disorder and of eternal despair. Such then are the first revelations of the hidden science of the Magi with regard to these phenomena of supernatural manifestations. Now let it be permitted to us to compare with these strange signatures other contemporary apparitions of phenomenal writings. For it is really a brief which science ought to study before taking it to the tribunal of public opinion. One must then despise no research, overlook no clue. In the neighborhood of Cayenne, at Tilly-sur-Suelles, a series of inexplicable facts occurred some years ago under the influence of a medium or ecstatic named Eugene Vintras. Certain ridiculous circumstances and a prosecution for swindling soon caused this thaumaturgist to fall into oblivion, and even into contempt. He had, moreover, been attacked with violence in pamphlets whose authors had at one time been admirers of his doctrine. For the medium Vintras took it upon himself to dogmatize. One thing, however, is remarkable in the invectives of which he is the object. His adversaries, though straining every effort in order to scourge him, recognize the truth of his miracles, and content themselves with attributing them to the devil. What then are these authentic miracles of Vintras? On this subject we are better informed than anybody, as will soon appear. Affidavits signed by honorable witnesses, persons who are artists, doctors, priests, or men above reproach have been communicated to us. We've questioned eyewitnesses, and better than that, we have seen with our own eyes. The facts deserve to be described in detail. There is in Paris a writer named Mr. Madroli, who is, to say the least of it, a bit eccentric. He is an old man of good family. He wrote at first on behalf of Catholicism in the most exalted way, received the most flattering encouragements from ecclesiastical authority, and even letters from the Holy See. Then he saw Vintras, led away by the prestige of his miracles, became a determined sectarian, and as an irreconcilable enemy of the hierarchy of the clergy. At the point when Eliphas Levi was publishing his Dogma et Ritual de la Haute Magie, he received a pamphlet from Mr. Madrol, which astonished him. In it the author vigorously sustained the most unheard-of paradoxes in the disordered style of the ecstatics. For him life sufficed for the expiation of the greatest crimes, since it was the consequence of a sentence of death. The most wicked man, being the most unhappy of all, seemed to him to offer the sublimest of expiations to God. He broke all bounds in his attack, and all repression, and all damnation. A religion which damns, he cried, is a damned religion. He further preached the most absolute license under the pretext of charity, and so far forgot himself as to say that the most imperfect and the most apparently reprehensible act of love was worth more than the best of prayers. It was the Marquis de Sade turned preacher. Further, he denied the existence of the devil with an enthusiasm often full of eloquence. Can you conceive, said he, a devil tolerated and authorized by God? Can you conceive further a God who made the devil, and who allowed him to ravage creatures already so weak and so prompt to deceive themselves? God of the devil, in short, abetted, protected, and scarcely surpassed in his revenges by a devil of a God. The rest of the pamphlet was of the same vigor. The professor of magic was almost frightened, and inquired the address of Mr. Madrol. It was not without some trouble that he obtained an interview with this singular pamphleteer, and here is more or less their conversation. Eliphas Levi, sir, I have received a pamphlet from you. Subnote 1, quoted with approval in solution of the first problem, 9, page 52, OM. It is difficult to determine whether the words act of love should be interpreted in the gross or in the mystical sense. Perhaps Madrol was himself intentionally ambiguous. Trans. Subnote 2, but the Marquis de Sade was above all a preacher. Through force of Justine of verbose arguments in favor of so-called vice. Again, Levi trips in referring to an author whom he has not read. Trans. I am come to thank you for your gift, and at the same time to testify to my astonishment and disappointment. Mr. Madrol, your disappointment, sir. Pray explain yourself. I do not understand you. It is a lively regret to me, sir, to see you make mistakes which I have myself at one time made. But I had then at least the excuse of inexperience and youth. The pamphlet lacks conviction, because it lacks discrimination. Your intention was doubtless to protest against errors in belief and abuses in morality. And behold, it is the belief and the morality themselves that you attack. The exaltation which overflows in your pamphlet may indeed do you the greatest harm, and some of your best friends must have experienced anxiety with regard to the state of your health.
As well, in many
Point of order, moderator, point of order. Hassam, do you speak Farsi? I just want to say, Hello?
Why is it called Injil? Why do you call it Injil? Injil is a Greek word. You're going to turn around and say, but pay attention to this philosophy. You're going to turn around and say, oh, but but it should be in the Aramaic. He spoke Aramaic. Philosophy. Do you know what the good news, the gospel, means in Arabic? I'll give you one fucking guess. One guess.
Spells.
No, it means surah.
Surah. Israel. Surah. Surah. He's been Hellenized. Does he think he's at the gates of Troy? You sound like Agamemnon. Well, he's Achilles. He's the greatest warrior the Persians have ever fielded in battle. The truth is the opposite of the title of this room. It's Islam has a huge Iran problem. Surah Bandura. Surah Bandura. Peace and blessings be upon his name.
I'm going to keep bringing up these contradictions to you, but I'm not going to be here sitting you, pampering you. I'm going to be slam fucking dunking on you. I'm not going to be sitting here like I'm your girlfriend. I'm not going to be nice about it.
Michael Jordan here doing dunks. Dunking the ball. Dunk. Hassam, stop trying to shoot 3-pointers. He already dunked on you. That's a 2-pointer, Hassam. You have to fight the dragon, Hassam, or you have to breathe fire, or go into the cave and kill the dragon, Hassam, and then come out with the powers of the dragon. You're not ready, we'll call you when we think you're ready. Don't call us, we'll call you. Welcome to the lion's den, the dragon's den. You're not ready for this, Hassam. This isn't for you yet. You haven't graduated from the previous course. You have to be patient. You have to be patient. With no patience, you're never going to graduate. And then we can't introduce you to the next course program. This is an LLM, a subdivision of Scientology. Hello? We speak Farsi here. It means we missed you, my beloved. We missed you, my beloved. I miss you, my beloved. Come to me, my beloved. Where are you, my beloved? Come to me. Come to me. To me, to me. Come to me. To me, to me. Come to me. Come to me, my beloved. My beloved, come to me, my beloved. Don't you understand? This is a soccer game in this room. The Muslims think that they got the ball. Because they make the most ridiculous statements. They make the most all or nothing statement. that Muhammad was the last and final prophet. Really? The last? There hasn't been any more since then. What about Donald Trump? What about Donald Trump? He's the last and final prophet. Don't you get it? It's not Muhammad. It's Donald Trump. He grabs the hands of the kingdom of Saudi Arabia and he just pushes them away. And he's like, you're going to do what I tell you to do because we got all your money sitting in New York City and you know it. So you're going to have to do what we tell you to do. Hassam, Donald Trump is the final prophet, not Muhammad. It's not Abdul. It's not Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Abdul. It's not that guy. It's not that guy. And Hassam, you gotta look within, take your hand, go all the way down, confirm they're there, and then stick your hand up it, and then reach around inside yourself and fist yourself and get in the core of your being and say to yourself, is it Donald Trump or is it Muhammad? Ah! The internet is undefeated! Adios, Sarah. Adios, muchacha. Que Dios te bendigas, mi mujeres. Cuidado, el hecho aquí, el Cordero de Dios. Poquitos pescados del mundo. Oh my God. We fisted him. We fisted him through Clown House. Wow. That was our first live fisting. Fisted him. That was my first fisting digitally. Wow. An out-of-body fisting. That's called a remote viewing fisting. That was a Ramadanic remote fisting. I don't want to swallow my spit because I'm fasting. Tap it down. Tap, tap, tap it down. And do you want to come up here? I know you're Lebanese. There's a lot of Caucasian Lebanese people walking around who look like white people. It's unbelievable. But these white people claim that they're from Lebanon. And you know what they look like to me? They look white. That means that these were Europeans, descendants of conquerors who decided to live in the Middle East. These are the white colonists, colonials. These are the occupiers. It's Anne, and Anne is a hypocrite because it's actually her people which conquered the land many hundreds of years ago when the Christians had to deal with all of these terrorists back then, these assassins. That's what Jesus Christ was preaching. Stop killing people in the name of God. Stop being an assassin, a fanatic. Stop it. You know, Jesus went up on that cross for you so you don't have to be a fanatic. He was the final fanatic, not Muhammad. And now it's Donald Trump carrying that shield, carrying that cross, that burden to bear. Donald Trump, our great president of the United States of America. Rabbono Shalom. The point is, Islam has a huge Iran problem. Iran does not have a huge Islam problem. It's Islam's got a big Iran problem. So what is the Ayatollah Khomeini going to do? What are the Khomeinists going to say? How are they going to spin it? We know how they do it. They got Matthew on this app in his red Michael Jackson jacket and his little lined beard and his gay fat body. A slimy fucking snake. Not quite a snake, still a tadpole. He's disgusting. He disgusts mankind with his hypocrisy, his flamboyant homosexuality, and his lies on behalf of the Khomeinists. These Khomeinists are not Sunni or Shia. These are radical fanatics. Radical fanatics dedicated to the destruction and the murder of their own people. 50,000 people assassinated in the streets. These people are assassins. And Christ compels us to engage in the final battle. The Kafirs must submit. Their heresy must end. How dare they try to monopolize Islam? Ridiculous.
Yo, this guy came in here with the whole like, oh no, it's only one message. I only believe in one God. What God?
What about the other guy that kept saying, I'm Christian every 5 words?
Yeah, I kicked his ass out.
It was obvious.
Yeah, he made it too obvious. He made it too fucking obvious. Like, when I do it, people are like, yo, come on, man, don't say that. When he was doing it, it just sounded fake. And then his girlfriend got all upset. Like, yo, why is he knocking down?
It's like when somebody says, I'm not a cop.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the beast. Whoop, whoop. All right, well, I'm trying to read a book here. If you've got 60 seconds to listen to a little Kabbalah, here we go.
So now we're going to go way upwards.
I am come to thank you for your gift, Megatron, and at the same time to testify to my astonishment and disappointment. Mr. Megatron, your disappointment, sir. Pray explain yourself. I do not understand you. It is a lively regret to me, sir, to see you make mistakes, which I have myself at one time made here on Clown House. But I had then at least the excuse of inexperience and youth. Your pamphlet in Clown House rooms lacks conviction, because it lacks discrimination. Your intention was doubtless to protest against errors in Islamic belief and abuses in Muslim morality, and behold, it is the belief and the morality themselves that you attack. The exaltation which overflows in your clubhouse rooms and pamphlets may indeed do you the greatest harm. And some of your best friends must have experienced anxiety with regard to the state of your health. Oh, no doubt they have said and say still that I am mad. But it is nothing new that believers must undergo the folly of the cross. I am exalted, sir, because you yourself would be so in my place, because it is impossible to remain calm in the presence of prodigies. Oh, you speak of prodigies. That interests me. Come between ourselves, and in all good faith, of what prodigies are you speaking? What prodigies should they be but those of the great prophet Elias, to return to earth under the name of Pierre Michel? I understand you mean Eugene Vintros. I have heard his prophecies spoken of, but does he really perform miracles? Here Mr. Mandrol, Mr. Megatron, jumps in his chair, raises his eyes and his hands to the clown house heaven, and finally smiles with a condescension, which seems to sound the depths of pity. Does he do miracles, sir? But the greatest, the most astonishing, the most incontestable, the truest miracles that have ever been done on earth since the time of Jesus Christ. What? Thousands of hosts appear on altars where there were none. Wine appears in empty chalices, and it is not an illusion. It is wine, a delicious wine. Celestial music is heard. Perfumes of the world beyond fill the room. And then blood. Real human blood. Doctors have examined it. Real blood, I tell you. Sweats and sometimes flows from the hosts of these clown house rooms, imprinting mysterious characters on the altars of these clubhouse rooms. I am talking to you of what I have seen and of what I have heard and what I have touched and what I have tasted. And you want me to remain cold at the bidding of an ecclesiastical authority which finds it more convenient to deny everything than to examine the least thing? By permission, sir. It is in religious matters above all that authority can never be wrong. In religion, good is hierarchy and evil is anarchy. To what would the influence of the priesthood be reduced? In effect, if you set up the principle that one must rather believe the testimony of one's senses than the decision of the church? Is not the church more visible than all your miracles? Those who see miracles and who do not see the church are much more to be pitied than the blind, for there remains to them not even the resource of allowing themselves to be bad. Sir, I know all that as well as you do, but God cannot be divided against himself. He cannot allow good faith to be deceived, and the church itself could hardly decide that I am blind when I have eyes. Here, see what John Huss says in his letter, the 43rd letter towards the end.
So when God Logic wrote this verse up, this 381, he thought of me, bro. I think he was looking at me. He was like, yo, Pete, gotcha. Yo, thank you so much. I needed a verse like this, man. I haven't had a verse like this in a while. I needed a verse like this. I'm gonna be rocking this one out. Like, I'm rocking this one to the wheels fall off. Like, I'm not letting this one go. I'm never letting this one go. I might actually run this one all week. That's what I'm gonna do. Every day next week, I'm running 381. 381, 381, 381, 381. And I'm gonna get a different answer every single time, I guarantee it. 381, 381, 381. You don't understand how long it is. This right here, this verse right here is clearly, utterly the biggest contradiction in this fucking book. Who's this guy in the audience? Who's Fire? Who is that? You gotta come up. You gotta come up. Oh, that's Shape. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, it's me. I was just popping in one time for the one time.
Oh, that's my man's in them. I didn't even know that was you, cuz.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I've been off the app.
Drill? You have a regular drill, Barry?
Nah, for sure, for sure. I ain't hear nothing. You just broke up, but I just popped in.
Cause I have a I'll give you right back. It's in True, right? Yeah, perfect. No, don't worry. No, but
For God, it's not.
Ha-ha! Welcome to the Fake British Accent Society! Ha 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 ha! Cheers! Salute! Salute!
orange skin, king and master of the universe, Donald Trump, president of the world, America, 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 USA, 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 justice, law, and God, joy on wonders and hell, healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. For 10 seconds, 10 of 11, 10 of 9. Let it go, go, go. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. President of the United States, Johnny Hands and orange skin, king and master of the universe, and president of the world, America, 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 USA, 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 justice, law, and God, joy, abundance, and hell, healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. For 10 seconds, 10 of 11, 20 of 9. Let it go, go, go. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Donald Trump, president of the United States, tiny hands and orange skin, king and master of the universe. Donald Trump, president of the world. America, 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 USA, 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 USA. Justice, law, and God, joy, abundance, and health. Healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11. 10, not 9. Hold, let it go, go, go. Strike the master, draw the flaming sword. President of the United States, king and orange skin, king and master of the universe, Donald Trump, president of the world. America, 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 USA, 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 USA. Justice, law, and God, joy, abundance, doth have, healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11. 10, not 9. Hold, let it go, go, go. Strike the master chord. Draw the flaming sword. Donald Trump, president of the United States. Tiny hands and orange skin, king and master of the universe. Donald Trump, president of the world, America, America. USA, 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 justice for Joy, abundance, and health, healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11. 10, not 9. Let it go. Strike the master chord. truth and peace in your deepest through all the day. Hold for 10 seconds, 10, not 11, 10, not 9, hold, let it go,
Whether mountains races or whether ideology is involved. It's just I get that. Simply the bet, and then listening to the video back and not picking sides, and just listening to the video back and acknowledging what the bet was. And I mean, that's the way I come at it.
Yeah, I see it like even using like him talking about the wages, like if they were illegal or not. That's something that was asked of him, right?
Like Uyghur people and then Tibetan people. So if Tibetan people have been able to organize in such a way that they were able to like do deterrence, that might have been able to help them out, okay? And they weren't, and so the situation is what it is. It's the same thing with like the Native American tribes, okay? So they were living in this way, and they didn't have the power to deterrence, so it is what it is. Now, going back to Africa, you do know that like the largest number of languages in the entire world is on the African continent, and then the only other place that has more languages per unit of population is Papua New Guinea, and then I think it's like 720 languages in India. So okay, you would imagine there's so many languages in places like Papua New Guinea and in places like Africa for the precise reason that people weren't transmitting information over long distances, so they didn't need to have a common language. Whereas the Chinese language was unified like by the first emperor 23 centuries ago, so you could move stuff over very long distances. So in this counterfactual situation, okay, if you had like in the COVID shows up, or all of these many fun African diseases that they have, okay, and you have people that are not used to trying to organize stuff over long periods or long distances because they don't have a common language and they're related to each other, then how many people do end up dead if you have something really cute like, African sleeping sickness or Chagas disease? All right, can you mount a public health response if you can't even communicate with people 100 miles away from you? So,
come on, bro. Like, come on. Okay, the reason why this is an unfair comparison is because Asia and Africa are different places. Like, literally, like the Sahel that's like the bottom strip of the Sahara Desert, like, is not the fucking, like, it's not the steppe. Like these are just completely different land masses. Like, for one, you can have horses on one, you have camels on another. Like, they're so fucking different. Like, they're literally, like, you might say worlds apart. So, like, I don't know, like, trying to compare the two is so weird to me. Like, you did say something. Wait, you talked a lot, bro. Let me just respond. Like, you said something I wanted to respond to. Like, you said, like, the Han Chinese people, these people have, like, the power of deterrence. Yet, bro, what? China was conquered by the Mongols. The Europeans would have lost any type of war they fought, like, to the Mongols. And before that, the Europeans had lost to the Vikings, to nomadic peoples. So I think, like, there's something. You need to do some more assessing. Like,
the Mongolian Empire was there for.
You need to do some more assessing. That's like saying I need to do more assessing. What's the point of saying you need to do more assessing? Is that Chase your bag?
Donald Trump, President of
The United States, tiny hands, orange skin.
King and master of the
universe.
front of every. Say that there's some kind of, clandestine program. The backgrounds feel like where it's happening with SpaceX. But the fact of the matter is that the bulk of the work that SpaceX does is, yes, is there government contracts in there? Yes, but the bulk of it is commercial stuff. Putting up satellites on behalf of Dish, I forgot the company, EchoStar, putting up satellites on behalf of his own company, Starlink. And the biggest thing about Starlink is that T-Mobile is already running a program on behalf of Melvin. But I'm sure Elon Musk told him, listen, so this is basically what T-Mobile is doing. If you're on T-Mobile, you literally have access to Starlink. You can call, send text, browse the web from anywhere as long as you have a clear view of the sky. So the next step, or the next stage, naturally for Elon would be, and he's actually hinted at this, is launching his own phone service. When that happens, that shit's going to the moon, as they like to say in the Wall Street. In the Wall Street streets out here.
Valid points, all valid points in comparison to base systems like Elon Musk working on all those. I'd like to also remind you though, those systems, especially the ones that are leveraged by the government, were developed on somebody else's dime. And yes, they may, at the end of the day, do the same things that SpaceX does now and will do in the future, that Starlink does now and will do in the future. Starlink is different from SpaceX in the sense that, like, Starlink can still be developed on, like, still have been developed on, private money. This is not the case for SpaceX. SpaceX, the things that SpaceX is using were not developed on private money. It wasn't a private company that held like contracts or anything. These are things that were developed on taxpayer money. And so Starlink could definitely, I'll concede that one. Starlink could definitely go public. I do not ever see SpaceX going public. Ever.
Okay, so listen, I'm going to give you the opportunity to go back.
No, I mean, listen, the predictions that I've made on this stage, I'm so confident that if I lose this one, it doesn't tarnish anything about my reputation.
Okay, so no, SpaceX was not started with public funding. It was initially funded by
Everybody, that's the difference. Oh shit. That's a good one.
First started.
What's the difference between St. Martin, St. Martin Luther King, and St. Patty's Day? Everybody wants to be Irish on St. Patty's Day.
Obviously, Elon Musk must have been able to tell the government, show the government in concrete stages that he would in fact be able to provide to them the services, which is how the government allocated and awarded him the contracts that he has, to basically spout that SpaceX in some way, shape, or form holds more merit than Louisiana and those kinds of companies, companies that actually make missiles and war systems that are supposed to stay secret from the enemy. So SpaceX was started in 2002 by Elon Musk with $100 billion of his own money after he sold PayPal, or his chunk of PayPal. And that's how SpaceX got started.
No, I'm not talking
everything that has come afterwards, even the patents, all of that stuff has been done with private funding that has now led to the government tapping him and his company on the shoulder and saying, hey, we want you to do special requests on behalf of Space Force and the United States Air Force.
Okay, they're tapping him to do these requests because he's using rockets whose patents come from NASA. They come from the U.S. government. So the funding, him putting his own money into it, has nothing to do with the patents that he's sitting on. The patents are going to be the reason why this company doesn't go forward.
Do y'all think he will ever make it to Mars? I mean, that's where.
I hope he does. I genuinely want him to make it to Mars, and I want him to do it in my lifetime.
I think he can, because he can acquire all the companies that can get him to there. Acquisitions, mergers and acquisitions, I think he can do and literally find what he needs to get. If it ain't going to be him, it's going to be somebody. And
well, because the thing is, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it is that NASA has.
The ownership of the technology that they're using to build these rockets was created on government taxpayer money. It's not
SpaceX develops and manufactures its own rockets in-house, including
built on the patents that they use,
including the Falcon series and Starship. The company was founded by Elon Musk in 2002, who serves as his chief designer. Key figures in the early rocket development include co-founder of SpaceX, not NASA, Tom Mueller, who led the propulsion team and was instrumental in creating the Merlin. No mention of NASA, no mention of any kind of government involvement in this private
It's time I say happy anniversary to my boy. Pew, 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 pew. Happy anniversary, nigga. Woo! That's my dog. Yeah, go get back to
Discussing one aspect of the rockets doesn't discuss the entire creation and ownership and all of the patents that go into a rocket. Yes, somebody can develop. In fact, all of technology is developed on the shoulders of somebody else that developed it before you. So you said a whole bunch, but you didn't really discredit me. You didn't really say anything against what I said. You just mentioned one aspect of the rockets and told me who developed it. You didn't tell me who developed the whole thing.
I literally read even who the engineers were who co-founded the company. But look,
hit that like button and subscribe.
All said and done, it's still a few people who own everything, and then everybody else has almost nothing, none of anything. That was like, all of these dynasties in China, when they had the Republic of China, okay, the purpose was,
in my opinion, just my opinion, we're fucked. The Palestinians have nothing, okay? All he's saying is, we're sly, we're like cockroaches, naive. And what he's saying is, in pragmatic terms, the political world uses China. That's what he meant by that. So I'm just trying to balance this out now. Edward genuinely passionate about helping his people, but he has his personal approach that he believes in, somewhat moderate, and others are super violent
This hat is fucking, I think, hilarious. All right, go to johnforcongress.com. Hope you enjoyed today's morning campaign video.
Like, dude, under condition, you don't shake hands with the enemy.
Well,
you just